Cool. Yeah. So let's go. I was just saying that it's nice to be here chatting with you guys on video for a change, and we're dialing in from Ente's office in Bangalore. It's like 9:30 p.m. here. It's a bit dark outside, but yeah, I've got Lawrence here with me.
Yeah, so hi guys, my name is Lawrence. My path with Ente started like almost 3 years ago as a customer actually. Same as you guys basically. I was in the community and that's kind of how the ball started rolling. I joined as an intern and then now I'm working full time here. I also moved to Bangalore, so yeah, really liking it here. And I work on the ML stuff. So yeah, right now Faces I guess is the main thing that I'm working on. Let me quickly give an introduction to what we are planning to do today. So obviously you guys all submitted your questions, so yeah, thanks a lot for that. And you also voted on it, so that's great. So we have some kind of ordering how we'll go through the questions. And yeah, basically that's it. Like I'll be asking the questions, I have them here, Vishnu will be answering them. And yeah, it's two introverts sitting in front of a camera, so it'll be like a casual, easy conversation. But we just really hope that you guys like it. We really enjoy like how much is happening in the community, and we're actually thinking like how can we engage with the community more. And we thought this would be a nice way to do it. So yeah, let's see how it goes. If you guys like this and find this useful, and yeah, then I think we can do this more regularly, like maybe once a quarter or something. Figure it out. But yeah, for now, let's get started. Like I said, everything is in order except for the first question, just because this is a nice question to kind of start off with. So the first question is, what's the story behind Ente? Why are you building Ente? And how was the company founded?
Sure. Yeah, that's a nice question to ease into the AMA. For those of you who don't know, so before building Ente, I spent a couple of months working at Google in Zurich and Switzerland. And not the best time of my life, to be honest. There's not a lot of things happen at Google, right? It's a very slow-moving company. And before Google, I worked at a bunch of startups. A very, really nice place to work at. And in general, I'm a very high-energy person, and I like being productive. So for someone like me, it is not a mentally great place to be in. And the other problem with Google is that they actually don't let you own the pet projects that you work on, right? So if you actually want to work on something, by default, they own the IP. I'm not sure if it's changed now. At least back then, there was this elaborate process of getting approval if you want to own whatever it is that we're working on. And I had a lot of spare time at hand. And like if there are any Googlers here, like you could check out o/IIRC, you will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so what would happen is this committee would go through your proposal and then they would approve it if it turned out that, whatever you're trying to build did not compare to any of Google's business units. And the problem with Google is that they're practically building everything under the sun. And it makes it incredibly difficult for you to actually get through that process, right? So it was a very frustrating time for me, not being able to actually build anything. So I knew that I had to quit and I had to do something else. And the question was what? And so a couple of things were happening at that point. So this is me and my wife, we had just got married, we moved into Switzerland and we traveled around quite a bit in Europe and clicking a lot of photos. And it was around the same time wherein I realized that I should probably not give Google access to all of my photos. Then I did the next best thing, right? I just bought an iPhone, I moved all of the data to iCloud. And surprise, my wife could no longer access, all of my library because she was still on an Android device. Then Apple being Apple just has a very tight lock on their ecosystem and where the data can be accessed from. So this completely broke all the sharing workflows we had for us. And so we had to get out of Apple. And the next place we went to was Dropbox because that is supposed to be the cross-platform guy. And they do have apps everywhere. But the problem with Dropbox was that they don't care about photos and much less about consumers. So it's not a great UX. And which is when I found out that there's actually nobody else solving this problem of building a safe space for normal consumers like me to actually preserve my photos. And that kind of got a lot of things rolling in my head. And for me, the other aspect of this was that in general, I'm very sentimentally attached to my photos. I grew up around photos. My dad used to run around as his kids with his Kodak and Malta cameras. So for me, this was a very personal thing to actually build, and that checked a lot of boxes because I realized that this is something that I would not give up on because of the sentimental angle to it, right? And for me, that is a core value as well, to play really long-term games And this seemed like building a company around photos seemed like a game that I could play. And yeah, so that was it. So in 2020, I came back home to Kerala in India, and this was right when COVID hit. So I started working on Ente, or at least, so actually the first project that I started working on was quite different from where we've ended up. So it was actually a hardware device. It was a box and you got keep it at your home, just like a private Google photo server.
By the way, if you guys want to check it out, the landing page for that is still up.
Yeah, so you guys can check out like orma.in, orma.in. And so it's just a box. So it is a box which had a Raspberry Pi running inside it, and it would expose a server outside. It's like an NAS, and the device would connect to it and automatically back up all of the photos. It is just literally like a private Google photo server. And then I realized that the problem with building hardware is that it's actually incredibly hard to monetize and scale. At least definitely without VC funding, and venture capital was not something I was very eager to explore at that moment. And it was almost a year into
building,
and then I realized, okay, I should actually do something else. Yeah, thanks, Ash.
Thanks, Ash.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, it's a really old website, by the way.
It's cool to check out. It's like the Ente's predecessor, basically.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I realized it's not really going to work. So then I pivoted and I started building a cloud-based service instead with a layer of encryption in between, because I didn't want access to any of your photo stuff. That was the whole thought behind this, right? So, and we launched the product a couple of months later on Reddit first and then Hacker News. And somewhere in between, Bob is Neeraj. Neeraj is our co-founder and CTO. So Bob joined, and that is the best thing that happened to Ente and to all of us. So that gave a lot of momentum. And yes, so since then, it's been 4 years. I've just been building. And we've had a good time, and then that's it, right? Yeah, so here I'm telling you guys all the story.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's a good story, I think. Okay, second question, and this is the most upvoted question, so thank you all for that. Will Ente always treat Graphene OS users with the same importance as other users, like you do now? So they appreciate, I guess, what we're doing with Graphene, but will we keep doing that?
Right. So this is also a really nice question, because it gives me more of an excuse to tell you more about my origin story. So see, I'm a programmer, right? I've been building stuff since in school. I think 8th grade is when I started. I think I started off building websites and templates, and just building good-looking stuff. And which is why I'm very finicky about pixels and gentle, and which I think Pragati should know that it actually makes me a very difficult person to work with when it comes to design. And so that went on in school. Then I went to college in 2009, and this is when Android was gaining popularity. I think they launched into 2008, and this is when Android phones started hitting India as a market. And I found that whole thing really fascinating. Right, there was this programming device that you could have in the palm of your hands, and it was very different from what we were used to before. So Symbian is what we had until then, and Android was on a league of its own. And so I emotionally blackmailed my dad into buying an Android phone at that point. It was a Samsung Galaxy S3. It's a mid-end device. It was $150 at that point. And $150 is actually a lot of money for our family at that point. We come from a very middle-class household. I'm actually very grateful to my dad for taking such a blind bet on me gently. So Dad, if you're listening, thank you. I don't think he's not on Discord, right? But yeah, thanks. And yes, that got me started, right? So that was my foray into open source as well, because Samsung had stopped shipping OTA updates, Samsung. So one of the first things I had to do was fiddle around with the phone, and I think it had Donut at that point, and by then Android had actually evolved into Eclair and FlowU, and so the first thing I did was actually compile the latest AOSP forced my device, and that's how kind of thing started. And then I joined this forum called Next Year Developers, which is where Android developers used to hang out at that point. That's where CyanogenMod was born. I'm not sure if you guys know about it. It's what kickstarted a lot of Android ROMs and just AOSP folks in general. Lineage always kind of spoke of CyanogenMod. And I think that's where Stack NV kicked in, and I felt that I don't know if you guys know what Stack NV is. Stack NV is basically when you feel that whoever is working on the layer, beneath the stack that you're working on is cooler. So I felt that maybe OS is not cool enough, so I started working on some kernels, and then I'm actually still a recognized developer on XDA. I used to maintain a bunch of kernels for Sony Xperia devices, and that's also actually how I got my first job. And okay, this is really long island story. Long story short, there is a lot of I in general find all of these projects, like I look at them with a lot of fondness because this is kind of where I grew up. So be it Lineage, be it Graphene, Calyx, it's really nice to see those communities shape up and push these projects forward and not let AOSP exist in silo. And so for those sentimental reasons, definitely, right, I think I value Graphene OS quite a bit. And even otherwise, I think what they're doing in general, just with pushing technology forward, like pushing privacy and security forward, it's really nice to see. And it takes a lot of balls, right, to make the kind of promises they make and to actually deliver on those promises. Right, so generally, I look up to them, right? So this is the sentimental angle to this, and purely from a business perspective, right, there are at least some support workers, there are quite active users who are on Graphene, who help us out with a lot of debug logs and just in general very helpful community. So pure business perspective, right, we get money from this, so we got to keep supporting the community and that's it.
Yeah, that's a very, very long answer to the question, but I guess like long answer short is yes, we'll keep doing it, and we really appreciate Graphene, and we really appreciate everyone that is like helping us give feedback in the community and like give debug logs and stuff. But we definitely noticed that especially the Graphene people, they're super kind, like super helpful. So, but long story short, like yes, we'll keep focusing also on Graphene. Okay, let's move to the next question. As hardware is getting released with better and better processing units and GPUs, will the semantic search and face recognition get faster and better over time?
Yes. Yes, right.
There you go. Next question.
I mean, we're a company who's betting very heavily on ML running on device, or locally, depending on what term we want to use. And for us, it's I mean, we believe compute will get far better and models get smaller. And there are not a lot of companies who are actually getting these models to run locally on low-end devices like the way we are playing around with it. Right, so and the reason we're doing it is because we believe this is the future and this is where we should be placing the bets. So very strong yes for that question.
Yeah, definitely. That's sweet. Okay, next question. A big gap in the privacy world is a good context app. Will Ente make a context app?
See, we want our photos first, is what I would say, because there's a long way to go to get there. And we don't want to try and do too many things. And we do feel the need, by the way. We personally feel the need.
I definitely feel I did.
Yeah.
I really want context.
Right. And Bob has also been pitching this forever. And it does make a lot of sense. It is just that right now, I think shipping the first version of any product is actually the simplest thing, and it's the most exciting thing. And what happens after that is actually the harder part, which is providing support, iteratively improving the product, and just like providing support. Right. It's actually a lot of work that actually goes behind it. And if you were to stick Ente's brand on any product, you would want that to be something which is like very good. Like it actually gives you an excellent customer experience. As we are not at a point where you can do that right now, but we definitely want to do it, right? Because even with respect to just photos and contacts, there's a lot of synergy, like in terms of how we want to share photos in the future. Like if you could set up a system like Signal where it's like one-tap sharing, and there are a lot of workflows that would enable as well. So I mean TLDR, it's a yes, but not right now, but soon.
First focus on photos, then we'll get there. And someone is asking if we're going to improve the video playback, and especially the on loop, zoom, and playback speeds.
Playback speed. See, I mean, in general, I actually feel you. I think the level of support we have for videos is not great, right? There's a lot of work to be done, especially on the streaming side, and it's actually massive amount of work. So we know exactly what's to be done, but it'll take us a couple of months to execute. So it's just something that we've parked for until we've done face recognition, and we will do it, right? Videos are a first-class citizen for us, and when we do get to it is when we solve the problems that you've mentioned, because those are actually easier problems to solve with respect to playback speed and zoom and all those things. It's just client-side stuff that we do. So we'll do it.
Yeah, we'll get there. So next question then. Are you going, and this will be the quick answer, I guess, are you going to offer a custom lock screen, and will it lock trash as well?
Custom lock screen, yes. We're already working on it. Trash, not right now. We'll have to figure it out. But thanks for the feedback. So we'll keep in mind.
Yeah, and the lock screen should be there.
Yes.
Soon, right?
Yes.
It's already in the works. Okay. Would it be possible to have the face recognition model differentiate between genders so that it doesn't suggest people from different genders?
I'll let you take this.
Okay, and I guess
Context, yeah.
this is like the one question that I'll answer then, since basically this is what I am working on. So yeah, we do. First of all, like the disclaimer, this is kind of basically one of the reasons that it is still in beta, right? We are still, still working on it, and I have seen this before also with me. I think usually it is family members though, and sometimes like it's kind of interesting to see like, oh, I guess I look like my mom or something. But yeah, I understand also that maybe this is not what you want. You want just direct, correct suggestions. And for that, I can say, we are working to fix that and to get that better. Like even now that it's in beta, we are experimenting with a different type of clustering, which we expect will already solve this. So that's kind of what I am aiming for now. Have the better clustering, and that should ideally solve this problem. I don't want to get too technical into it, but basically we are working on it. Like, and even if the clustering won't work, there's also other ways of fixing this. But ideally, the clustering itself should fix it. I don't want to get too technical maybe at this AMA, but yeah, definitely we are working on it. Definitely, you can expect suggestions and pages in general. Like we said before, it will over time will keep getting better. So. Yes. Next question is a user that wanted to know your thoughts on offering a cheaper service with fewer layers of replication. And he was also quite opinionated against it. But I'll
I assume there is a long question.
Yeah, just the guy, like he used 4 questions, so he felt very strongly about it.
Yeah, so I think you mentioned about us promising cheaper plans. I actually don't know promising cheaper plans. But I mean, in case we did it, see, it's not about cheaper. I do think you'd like to make it more affordable for a lot of folks, because there is a barrier to entry, and it's not just because it is end-to-end encrypted. It's more because we actually keep 3 copies of the data, 3 replicas, and like, I mean, and Google definitely subsidizes a lot more. I mean, I think in fact, I don't know why Google is charging. I think they're actually charging just to not seem suspicious. And like, we've got a sustainable business to run, right? But what we would like to do is, I mean, there are multiple ways to approach this, right? One is, like they mentioned, to actually reduce number of replicas or offer a plan with lower replicas. Or the other way is to actually experiment with pricing and maybe offer smaller tires, like cheaper tires upfront. I mean, generally, if you play with pricing, I think a lot is possible, and we've actually not been experimenting as much as we should be. So, and we'll actually be doing it next quarter. So, let's see. I mean, the idea is to try and make it more affordable.
Yes, that's definitely the goal. Hopefully, we should be able to make that better. Next question: for which platform is it most difficult to develop software in Europe?
Oh, it's hard everywhere. It's harder. Like, I think relatively perhaps server is a bit simpler, because see, this is passing around encrypted blobs, right? So it does make things a little simpler, but I mean, there is other complexity, right? I mean, in terms of maintaining infrastructure, maintaining reliability, resilience, and for a company of this size or for a product of this maturity, we actually have an incredibly mature server. I'm not sure how many of you guys have actually looked into our source code for Museum. Museum is what I'm serving. It's and a lot of it actually doesn't show out, right? Like, so the majority of our infra is actually really high. So it's not like that is very easy either. But if I were to compare it with, say, mobile, right, wherein compute is a scarce resource, wherein I mean, in general, like mobile is much harder to build on, and even with web, like a lot of the APIs that don't want to use are actually cutting edge and not working half of the browsers. So client-side engineering in an end-to-end encrypted landscape is actually very difficult, and it's hard, and also because of the expectations that you come with, right? The benchmarks that you have for Ente is like apps like Google Photos or Instagram, and to meet those benchmarks is not easy, and it's hard, and I mean, those are the like hard games are the ones worth playing, right? And there's a lot of joy in doing hard things. So I mean, that's it.
Just client-side with end-to-end encryption makes life a bit more difficult, but it's also fun. That's the challenge, I guess. Next question is, how big is the Ente team? How many people?
There are 12 folks in the payroll in one way or another. There are 8 of us who are actually working full-time on Ente. 4 folks who are working on engineering. So there is Hashi, who works on Mumbai. There is Lawrence, who runs all the ML stuff. There is Panav, who looks at web, desktop, infra. There is Rob, who practically does everything. And yeah, then there are other four of us who basically look at other things like product and support and marketing. And then then we have like 4 interns or like part-time folks who are working part-time, right? I think you guys might know some of them. Like Pratik is the guy who's mostly been maintaining auth for a couple of months now. And then we've got James, most of you guys know James. He's been working on a lot of school projects, right? Like Cast and Passkeys, and now I'm especially, James, just like James. So he's actually working on something very cool right now that I can't wait to show you guys. So, and we have more folks actually, like Amin was the one who actually shipped the share link, the briefing feature, and we've got Atyak who's working on dashboards. And actually, it's not just these folks, there are actually a lot of volunteers as well. Like recently, Suraj just started contributing to our blog and just helping us with content in general. I think FRG, Rojo has been helping us run Discord since like God knows when. And a lot of folks who can put translations. And I mean, it's a lot of really, really nice folks, right? Like whose kindness we are running on. Our friends, there is Rahul, right? Like, who's brought the Taki and who still continues to help us with illustrations. And a lot of very nice folks. But yeah, coming back, the core team is 12 or 8, I guess. And it's intentionally small because it's much easier for us to move the way we want to move. And we feel this is effective, and we hope you feel it's effective as well. That's it. Yeah.
Nice. That answer. All right. What is your vision for Ente 10 years from now? And that's a big question. Take your time.
I mean, 10 years is a very long time frame, right? A lot of things we would like to accomplish. Primarily, we would like to be the photos company. And it's actually a very aggressive vision. And at least I feel it takes a very long time to build very solid, enduring companies. But I would like to be that company. And then there is, on the company front, we also like to be the company that families trust to actually share and pass down data. That's another angle we would actually like to accomplish. And from a tech perspective, we would want to be the guys who are actually pushing local AI forward. And from an internal people perspective, I would actually want to work on making myself replaceable in this decade, so that if I'm not wrong, things just keep running. And from a product perspective, I think we want to be that very friendly consumer brand that people actually attach like positive emotions to. And then that. Yeah, I mean, okay, it's a very loaded question and I can just keep going on, right? But I hope you get the gist of where we want to be.
Nice answer. All right. Besides the current services and the planned services, what privacy service would you like to develop or see developed? So not necessarily us, can also be.
Well, that makes it easier if you don't have to commit to it, right? I would say,
more freedom to answer whatever. Take the biggest project.
So contacts, like we discussed, right? Like we would definitely like to see that. See, personally for me, I take a lot of notes. I journal quite a bit, and I write down quite a bit of things actually. So for me, when I used to use iOS, I used to use this app called Craft, which used to work pretty well, and it actually made writing very delightful, and I used to enjoy writing. And since I've moved to Android, I've been using Notesnook and Standard Notes on and off, and both good products, but there is a level of fluidity or like magic that Craft presented, which I actually miss quite a bit. And I think things of Notesnook up to live shipping like crazy fast. So I think we might get there. I mean, in general notes, right? Like just from personal perspective, I would actually like a very, very fluid notes app that would offer like an encryption.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but yeah, we are not building that.
No, we are not building that. Please don't get me.
Just so we're clear. Okay. How many users does Ente have? Good question.
Yeah, so we have around 50,000 users, and I mean, actually, I would like to be a lot more open about our metrics, right? I would actually like to start behaving like a public company in a sense, like where you publish quarterly reports about your earnings and like just metrics in general. I would love to have a dashboard which is like ente.io/public, and it'll happen like soon, right? We just haven't got around to it, and just not because we have fiduciary duty or anything, but just from a perspective of transparency.
Complete transparency.
Right. And I think that's what everyone deserves, right? Like we should be open, and we will get to it, right? But see, if at all this question was a proxy for whether or not we are gonna survive, or whether we need extra like investor funding, VC funding to make it, the answer is no. I think we're good right now. In fact, in the last month is when I actually drew my first salary in 4 years. and but all of us could be earning a lot more. There should actually be the IT should be paying people a lot more, and that is my problem as a founder to solve. Right? That's something that I have to work on.
Yeah, no, but good. But more transparency is going. Yeah, so that's nice. Then there's a user who I guess is on Linux, and he is asking for Flatpak apps. So right now we have app image and
I'm guessing he's not a fan of Apple.
yeah,
Such a divided.
Yeah, didn't seem like it.
See, it's okay. Not something I'd like to address in AMA or such, but because I actually don't have a lot of context, but I remember there being a bunch of challenges. If you look at GitHub discussions, I think there is a very well documented thread which Manav has maintained on what has happened and where we are right now and where we could be headed. So definitely would like to be everywhere, right? I mean, distribution should not be a problem. But there seems to be actually technical things that are getting in the way. If you guys are interested, please check it out. If you guys can offer help, please yeah.
Yeah, we don't have anything against Flatpak.
No,
it's just
nothing, right? Yeah.
hasn't been. Yeah, we have to choose, I guess, what we focus on. And then there's a question about legacy. So someone is asking, if legacy will be a full-fledged service for after that, as in encompassing anything, I guess, or will it focus only on photos and Locker? I guess Locker is already pretty
Right.
broad.
Locker is actually pretty broad the way we see it. Right. I mean, the idea is actually let some for me it's that when I die, I want my wife and daughter to be able to access all of the photos that I've clicked, or right time I've got our codes, contacts in the future. Locker is already documents that they should ideally have access to and instructions on what to do with each of these things. So legacy kind of ties into Locker that way, and that is how we perceive the product. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think Locker is pretty broad.
Right.
It should cover it. Would Ente create a ChatGPT alternative that is completely private?
No, I mean that's not our forte, and I think there are companies who raise hundreds of millions of dollars for doing all the research and the training, and I think where we would like to build expertise is actually on deploying these models on devices and to actually get locally up and running when all the models are available, and I think that is a game to play, right? I think I think I've learned, I've become better at not dealing with stack in me. In a sense, I think there's a lot of value you can create just by being that company who is getting things in the hands of consumers, right? And and I'm pretty sure there'll be some LLM. Seeing Web LLM a couple of days back. Then there is Dava.cpp. These things actually run on device, and I'm sure pretty soon, in a couple of years, if not the next year, we'd be able to get those things running on mobile.
Yeah.
So and I can totally envision Locker where you can actually have semantic search with your documents, where is my tax due, where is my fixed deposit actually maturing, and actually having a Q&A with your documents. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice answer. I think I fully agree with that. And I think the value is, like you said, in deployment and versus things like once you have it running locally, we are the guys that can then make sure that it still runs seamlessly, right? That we have the end-to-end encrypted sync to make sure that even though it runs locally, if you run it on another device, but you want to pull in your history or something, we would be the guys that kind of provide. I'm not saying we're building a chat service, but
Right. Yeah.
that's what we bring to the table: deployment, the end-to-end encrypted sync.
Yes.
I agree. Okay, big question again. What is the goal of Ente? Are you trying to become the ultimate alternative to Google or Microsoft?
Okay. I mean, no global domination plans as such. That's what the question is. But I mean, I feel in general, even with photos, right? I think that's an ambitious goal in itself, right? To actually Google photos or get Apple photos, and I mean, in general, there is this core philosophy of doing just one thing and doing one thing well, which doesn't get in the way of spreading ourselves too thin. And at this point, for the scale that we are at, it's actually a healthy philosophy to approach. To take and. But who knows, right, in the future, right, I mean, as we get bigger, right, let's say someone to actually pour hundreds of millions of dollars at us, and then it'll totally make sense to let Bob go crazy and build whatever he wants to build, and to set up an army of devs under him who can actually continuously support the services and to actually, maintain them. Never say never, right?
Yeah. Would be goal, but for now, just to think on
yes.
to let us setting as progress. Then someone is asking, are there plans to translate the landing page and the help documentation?
plans, yes. Bob has been after me for a while now. The problem with the landing page is that it's always in a state of flux. There are a lot of moving parts in it. So that it's going to take us more time for things to settle down there. Docs, yes. I think things are a little more stable there. Although I don't know if the framework that we use there supports translations out of you have to see. Yeah, so it's not a very useful answer, but I think we'll have to see.
Yeah, but the intent is definitely there.
Yes.
What's your exit plan for Ente?
Exit plan. There is no exit plan. I mean, it's
too soon, maybe. Also.
Yeah, right. I mean, see, what are normal exit plans for companies, right? One is getting acquired, and I think in our perspective, is not a very sexy outcome. And the other one is actually getting go public, do an IPO as a company, and because that guarantees, or does not guarantee, but at least it tries to guarantee that the company actually outlives the people who started it. But the problem with going to public companies, and then you're at the mercy of the market, right? You might be doing everything you can do right, but it's the market is unreliable, right? So there are risks with going public as well, but that's definitely one viable route. The other one is a very actually stay private, where there are a bunch of companies who are taking that route now. The base cap is one of those guys, or we stay private and we have a trust about it. And a lot of approaches. I think one of my jobs to the next decade is to actually figure out what path makes the most sense for Ente. And I think the overarching idea is to just make sure there is posterity that I want my daughter to get all the focus that I've clicked off her through Ente, and I have to succeed at that. So so when I'm not around, Ente should be around, and yeah.
Yes, that's the criteria.
That's the core.
Measure.
Right. Yeah.
Measure. Yeah. But it's not something that we actively discuss. It's interesting to think about.
It's something that I actively think about. I spend a healthy amount of time thinking about. But I think I do have to think about it. I think these are things that have to be thought upon for years and to actually arrive at a decision that makes the most amount of sense. And
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is a bit of a switch, but yeah, this is what you get when you order the questions for votes.
Yeah.
How many languages do you speak?
Okay. Odd question. Okay, so I speak Malayalam. That's my mother tongue. Ente, the word Ente comes from Malayalam, but it means mine. I speak English. I speak Hindi. I can understand a bit of Tamil, and I love Tamil. I think I feel Tamil and French are like the most beautiful languages out there. They just sound the best. And I know a few words in German, or rather Swiss German to be more precise.
Which is not German at all.
Yeah, right, yeah. So, but I find that language very interesting, right? I feel it's the most logical language that I've run into, in terms of how you concatenate words and actually make bigger things out of smaller things. Compared to English, right, there's no logic. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. I found it. It's 3.5.
Yeah, 3, I guess. Yeah, 3.
Okay, cool. Okay, then we go back to, your past before Ente, because this question is, what was your experience working at Google, and is Google spyware rhetoric actually accurate? 2 questions, I guess. Let's start with your experience.
Yeah, so at Google, I look at the team that I work with, there is honestly, people are really nice, very, very kind folks. But in general, I'm not very fond of Google. Bunch of reasons, and it's not just about privacy. I think a bigger gripe with Google is about how they actually pick out very, very smart engineers and feed them really good food and get them super comfortable to a point where they don't rate at, and they actually don't do anything impactful. And the support meme, right, resting investing, and I think never use it with rest investing, using him, right? But no, not throwing any shade, right? But I find that very uncomfortable, because I feel there's a lot of impact that humanity is missing out on because of the strategy that Google has taken, and then what Meta has continued to take, when you just extract out the best and put them in a room and don't let them do anything, just so that they don't go out and something else. So I find that very annoying.
And that's also what first frustrated you, right? When you were at Google, just that you couldn't get shit done, basically.
Right. Can't get stuff done there, right? It's a machine, and okay. Now moving on, right? About the spyware rhetoric, I think that's a bit unfair, because at their core they're an ad company, right? And I think they're very open about the fact that they're an ad company, and which means they have to harvest data, and even the photos right now, what's happening, I think the biggest moat they have against the likes of OpenAI is actually proposed, and we could always have the best computer vision models. And then it's about whether or not we want to encourage like spyware, if it's the people call it, or like use alternatives like Ente. Right? This is not going to do a sales pitch, but use Ente. Right? So I think they're doing what makes sense for them to do as a company and what is there in their DNA.
That's it. So just the fact that they're quite open about it, basically, like you're not denying like what people are saying.
Yeah, they're not saying they're not evil.
Yeah,
it's
makes sense. Okay, then next question: have you always cared about online privacy, and how long have you been in the privacy community?
No, I've not always cared about privacy. Like, in fact, I've a bunch of consumer apps, and even if like both our consumer apps, privacy is not something that you really prioritize. And I think it's 2019 when I joined Google. I think is when I started thinking very critically about this. In fact, I think Manav had come over on vacation at some point to Zurich, and we were staying, and we had a long conversation about just the state of consumer data and how it's processed. And that's actually what got me thinking about myself and my own data, like what the data types that I have and what is really close to my heart, what isn't, and if I'm okay with the company harvesting some of it out of it. And I threat modeling, as people call it now, right? Like so for me, photos was the one thing, right, wherein it was really, really close to my heart. And I perceive, so I'm not like an absolutist or anything. I think different people have different partners, and I get to respect that. And I think everybody should respect that, right? So I mean, it's been since then, right? So then I felt that as an engineer, it's kind of a responsibility also to build an alternative. If we can build an alternative, like for my wife to use, our parents to use, and
that weeks plus. Okay, and then we go back to like a feature question about a feature in the app, I guess. When will national holidays be added for more countries?
I think I was asked this question, because he's been asking this for quite a while. I don't know actually. We have not been able to prioritize this, right? So right now there's a lot of focus on just shipping face recognition, semantic search, getting it out of the box. And so from product perspective, we are actually not interfering. We just want the engineering team to run free and close these tasks because it will provide a lot of value to customers and to actually bridge the gaps. And after that, we can actually stretch our legs and focus on iterative improvements. And that's how we would like to play this.
Yeah. Okay, and then another feature question, this time about cost. So two questions actually. First is like a feature request of sorts. They are wondering if we're adding plans for custom ordering in cost. And then also, after you answer that, what challenges were there with using the cost API, I guess?
For custom ordering, yes, we would love for the device to be a remote control, right, where we can cast the specific images that you want. It's the whole album. Again, don't have an ETA for it yet because we've not picked it up yet. In terms of challenges, I think James has written a really nice article in our blog. So you guys should go check it out on like how we want about integrating cast. And I think that will do a lot more justice to that question that I can like go this call.
Fair enough. The next feature question.
Oh man.
Really reached the feature section now. That's all right. Are there plans for nested LEs?
I guess you have to make plans. It's something that I'm not very fond of because I feel organization can be done better with tags. But maybe those are my personal use cases, right? In general, I think community has been asking for this quite a bit. So we will give nested albums. Yeah,
there's no really way around it.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah.
You're really trying to ignore it, but so many people want it, so then what? Yeah, this is a very different question then. What do you think of there's a new company called Cloaked that also offers privacy services. What do you think of them? What happened?
No opinion. I haven't really checked them out. I saw the website. The website is really cool. And yeah, that's it. They have a good designer. They have someone who can do static pages. That's all I can see.
Yeah, I checked it out also, the website. Again, the website is really nice. I haven't used them. Maybe I'll do that at some point in the future. I do really like what they're offering, especially they have a service where like basically what Simple Login has with email, but then with like aliases for your phone numbers basically.
Is it for SMS or for call?
For both, I think. Yeah, which is something that I've been really missing for the longest time, and I kind of gave up on it. But maybe I'll check it out. Maybe someone in the audience has experience with them.
Right. There is SMS pool as well. I'm not sure if you've checked it out. That's also,
check that out.
Yeah. But yeah.
I'll check that out. Okay, next question. I hope you're ready because it's again topic shift. Are you religious? And if so, what religion?
So no, I don't think I'm religious. Although I was brought up in a very conservative religious Hindu family, and that's why my name is Vishnu, right? And I'm not sure if you guys know of mythology. It's Hindu mythology is actually very similar to Greek mythology, and it's like the DC universe and like Marvel universe, right? We've got our own characters and people that symbolize certain things, and so like my parents are actually very upset about the fact that I'm not as religious, but there are certain things that have just become habit, right? Because of the way I was brought up, and and some of those habits have actually stuck around. Like I've named my daughter after like the Hindu goddess Lakshmi, who stands for prosperity, and in general, so a lot of those habits have stuck around not because I'm religious or like I believe in a higher power, but there's a level of comfort and familiarity because those are things you've done as a kid. So yeah, that's
right.
Nuanced answer, but yeah. Bad.
Okay, then back to Ente Photos. When is V1 of Photos coming out?
I think as soon as we get let Florence get back to work, like shit faces.
Yeah. So basically, Vishnu was continuously pushing me to get faces out of private, like basically into beta, then out of private beta, then then out of public beta. I think that is probably the main blocker, right? You just want to get that right, and then there's some few other really nice things we want to add for you.
Yeah.
And faces is the main thing. We just want to get out.
Yeah.
I'm hoping public beta for faces back straight, but let's
go.
No promises. And then we'll see from there. I am really bad at timelines, so I'll not do that. Next question. Someone is asking, how should I transfer 10 terabytes from Dropbox to Ente as a professional photographer?
Okay. It hurts me to say this, but if you're a professional photographer, you're better off not using Ente right now because there are a lot of use cases that we don't support, right? And I think we'll support them by next year, this time. So the honest answer is just let us, like just to give us some time.
Yeah, check back in a year.
Yeah, check back in a year.
And then should be...
Yeah, we should be there.
Yeah. All right. Vishnu, how old are you?
I did not say that. I'm 33.
Okay. Okay, next question. Any plans to introduce more options for finding duplicate tiles?
Yes. Bob has actually been experimenting with a bunch of things. He's been playing around with Clip. I think it's also checked out perceptual hashing, and that's actually really interesting results. But we don't have anything in production yet, right? It's just playing around. And plans, yes, we will actually implement a better way to detect similar images, not just duplicates, right? Just click like 5 photos in one shot, just to hoping that there's one in there which actually looks better than the rest. So we will help you reduce noise for these use cases.
Yeah, we work on that as already started. Okay. I guess someone really likes what Ente is doing and wants to potentially join because he's asking, does Ente offer internships or remote contracts? And how can someone contribute or maybe join the team?
Correct. Flattered that someone is asking us this. Right now we're not hiring though, unfortunately. We will set up a job board though, and then we'll share it with the community so that you guys are updated if there has been when we're hiring. As for now, I think the best way to help us would be to spread the word we just tell people about
just tell people about Ente, share the landing page link.
Yeah.
Just share your own photos, right? Like with your friends, even if they don't have Ente. That's actually something we're working on as well. Like get sharing into a better state that more people want to use it, and then that way people will also see Ente. That will really help us grow.
Right.
Are you considering implementing a passwordless Passkeys setup?
No, not right now. So I'm actually very new to this system of passkeys and protocols, and I actually don't know of a way to reproducibly with a key from which you can actually execute the envelope of encryption that you do right now. But perhaps there's a way. I think James or Bob might be better people who ask about this. that's it. I think my bigger concern about Passkeys right now is actually lack of portability. Like if you actually set up this whole passwordless login system, let's say from Apple, for a specific service, and then you say leave the Apple ecosystem tomorrow, there is actually no way for you to move your Passkeys from Apple to elsewhere. There is no defined format for this. So I would say be very careful when you're going on and on Passkeys before they actually figure out how stuff can be moved around. And yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. And then topic switch again. What is your hobby?
Hobby?
Ente.
Yeah, Ente is the all-time consuming hobby. Apart from that, I like listening to music quite a bit. I grew up learning Carnatic music and learn to play the violin. Although I don't really play the violin anymore, but I do spend a lot of time listening to music with my daughter. Well, I want her to grow up to a musician, live the dream that I could have lived of sorts. But I'm hoping she'd also be a musician, and so I do spend a lot of time listening to music. Then I do spend some time working on Reddit and how can use, although it's reduced quite a bit since I've become a dad. And what else? I love food. And I think Laura should know this by now. Food.
Yeah. Ours here, he took me to so many food places and very healthy. And now, that was the first month we just went to food places, and in the second month we all subscribed to a gym.
Yeah, that
is also a thing.
That's also a hobby.
Gym.
Thanks to Lawrence and getting healthier. I also joined the gang. We go to a gym now, and so that's a hobby. And that's it. Yeah.
I wanted to add also for the music thing that we have quite a few musically inclined people actually at the there's you with Vishal.
Actually, it's a great musician.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah.
Vishal is also
Vishal,
very talented, and Manav also dabbles with all sorts of musical experiments. So a lot of musical talent at Ente. When will bulk tagging be supported? Is the next question.
So I think we actually have to work on tagging as a feature in itself. I think a lot of folks are now using retrofitting descriptions and just tags and descriptions, and we can do a lot better, right? So I think we're looking at tagging nested folders and all of that, and like a bunch that we would like to ship together. Don't have an ETA yet right now, right? But we'll give tags, because tags, I think that manual tagging is a very nice feature here.
It's definitely something that we have to add.
Yes, sure.
Okay, then there's a few questions left that were actually written just before we started. So one question is about Locker, and basically the question is when is Locker going to be available?
No clue. To be honest, yeah.
Yes.
Or like the meme soon.
Soon, yeah. I mean, it has been like in the works for some time, but
we're actually taking a step back because again, like we just want to do one thing right in that way. So we'll get to it, and we'll definitely give Locker, but not before we get the one of faces.
Yeah. And then I guess maybe I can already answer the next question. Is basically the same answer. The question is the same, but then OCR. When will OCR be going to be added to?
I like to take that.
I think it will be cool for me. I would like to work on that, but there's like a few things that have to go first. Like faces and clip have to be perfected basically, and even then I think there's some other stuff around rediscovery, like basically the features on top of clip and faces that I think are more bang for the buck for our users.
Right.
I think they would be happier with that. So those have to come first as well. And then OCR will be there. So I was curious. I took no timelines. I don't know. It will be at some point there. But for now, I feel there are other things which are more valuable to work on. I'm not saying OCR isn't valuable, but just a lot of things are more valuable. And then someone is asking about there's a user that has a lot of albums, and he is asking when we'll improve the flow for managing a lot of albums. So bulk edits, albums,
correct.
Some stuff.
Yeah.
Same
as like and after you, let's say.
Yeah. After you. Okay. I'm out of questions. Basically, these were all the questions.
So when you mentioned rediscovery earlier, there was one question about what happened on a face recognition.
Right.
So we did, because there are actually a bunch of things which I feel because you mentioned rediscovery is never realized. The game actually, like, obviously, he said a lot of things will actually happen after this regulation. I think there are other bigger things, like, for example, rediscovery in itself is actually a big piece. There is video streaming, and then there is sharing in general.
Sharing is also a big thing we haven't mentioned enough, I feel.
Right. Because I still feel that flow is broken in terms of how, like, you still go back to signaling groups or WhatsApp groups to share photos. Those are not the best places to share photos because they don't really encourage a conversation around photos. Whereas Ente, you have your photos already, right? How do we actually sharing around that? And that is still challenges, right? Like, because there's a context switch involved. You already have a conversation in Signal. Now, why would you switch to a different app? And how do we bring the conversation into Ente?
Yeah.
And with this,
not an easy thing to do.
Not an easy thing.
But it's something we'll have to.
Yeah, we'll have, like, I think it's a really interesting problem to work on. And even at Discovery, right? It's because most of us click photos to go back and look at it and to because those are great moments in your life, or those are happy moments. So you go back and it give you joy, or you feel nostalgic about it, or in general kind of creates it with some gratitude, right? And I think there's a lot of scope for us to recreate those feelings by not without you having to search for it, by actually us surfacing those, stitching together information, like who you hung out with, what you were doing with them, like in semantic search, and like where they were and like at what point, and kind of drawing patterns from these to get creating an engine out of this, and intelligently surfacing this. I think there's a lot of gratitude we can actually create, like for people, and without like check all of this happening on the client side.
Yeah, all client side, all purely like the only motive is just help the user rediscover their photos.
Right. So I feel there's a lot of romantic value in building this. Right. So I mean, a lot of exciting work that is left for us to do. Right.
Yeah, that is it. I totally not been keeping attention to, like, there's quite some messages in the chat, which is nice, but I don't think I have not read them, to be honest. I don't know if there's anything we need to clarify there.
No, actually, I think we should get going. Actually, so okay, so I had like this is supposed to be a 30-minute call, which is actually gone to almost an hour, and it's actually Lawrence's birthday tonight, right? So in a couple of hours, it's his birthday. We've got a
close
there, and you have to get the party started.
Yeah, I think one more thing before we go, just would be nice if you let us know what you thought of this AMA, like, because again, we really like to. Like in general, what do you think of the AMA and what do you think of the community? Because we really like how the community is shaping up, and we would like anything we can do to make the community a nicer place, to interact with the community more, would be great. Like I said, maybe like if you like this, we can do this semi-regularly, like once a quarter, once whatever. So please, if you want that, or if you have any other things you would like to see in the community, feel free to share that in chat. That would be great. But aside from that, I think that's. Yeah,
this is good. It's actually nice talking to you guys. Right, like Lawrence said, I hope we get to do this more often.
Yeah. And
let us know in case we get help in any way. In general, like here around. That's it. Now we'll get going.
It's cool. I like this MA. Thanks, Siggy.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks a lot. See you around.
All right. Yeah. See you in the community.
Bye.
Bye, guys.